Welcome to Owl Perception, where we uncover the secrets that power understanding. In this world, information is the battlefield, and the best tool is a strategic mindset. Forget the hunches, forget the wishful thinking. Let's get to work and wield the structured analytic techniques, the hidden weapons for intelligence pros, top-tier strategists, and anyone else who's done with feeling lost and ready to chart their own course. What's the difference between reading a map and charting the terrain? It's the difference between analysis based on hunches and structured analytic techniques, or SATs. These are rigorous processes designed to transform raw data into clear, defensible, and most importantly, actionable intelligence. Our minds, amazing as they are prone to cognitive quirks, jumping to conclusions, selectively filtering info, or tunnel visioning a single idea. SATs are a framework that reduces these risks by making thinking more transparent and logical. We create the roadmap to the truth so you are not just stumbling in the dark. SATs were developed after some of the worst intelligence failures in history. To make up for these failures, analysts needed to externalize their thinking, make their work more understandable, collaborative, and defendable. These techniques are not just the domain of intelligence analysts. They are powerful tools in any field that requires careful, deliberate planning and creative problem solving, from policy planning to business strategy, medicine, and your daily life. Authors Fersen and Huyer break down SATs into 6 core families. In this series, we are going to explore these families and look at how specific techniques can benefit you. So let's get going. To master these techniques, you have to understand the way we think. The brain has 2 modes of processing, System 1 and System 2. System 1 is fast, instinctive, emotional, and based on past experience. Think of it as your gut reaction, often useful but not always correct. System 2, on the other hand, is slow, deliberate, and analytical, the path that helps us overcome our biases. Our minds are often prone to limitations. Confirmation bias is like tunnel vision for the data you want. Misapplied heuristics use good rules but for the wrong occasion, and intuitive traps make us blind to the things we choose to overlook. We need a way to keep ourselves in check. Structured analytic techniques provide a System 2 framework that is designed to mitigate the impact of System 1 using a rigorous set of rules. In this series, we're going to see the ways that certain techniques are designed to overcome these unique and persistent problems. A master analyst doesn't just pick any tool. They are skilled at choosing the right technique for the right situation. The first step is to understand the 6 core families of SATs. These families all have their specific purpose that corresponds to the different stages of an analytic task. They are getting organized, exploration techniques, diagnostic techniques, reframing techniques, foresight techniques, and decision support techniques. There are also some core techniques that all analysts should become familiar with. Techniques such as cluster brainstorming, key assumptions check, analysis of competing hypotheses, and premortem analysis. These tools are the bread and butter of any analyst's work, but that doesn't mean all tools are equal. The best one to use is the one that works for you. To help with this process, the authors included a useful guide based on 12 questions to consider before choosing the correct technique. These questions help guide the analyst towards the appropriate chapter and tools. It is also important to instill in ourselves some good thinking habits. Master thinkers are marked by 5 key habits: critically challenging assumptions, exploring alternative explanations, using inconsistent data to guide the way, and keeping an eye on the key drivers and the big picture. If you master these habits, you are well on your way to effective, robust analysis. So before the analysis begins, chaos must be contained. That is what the family of getting organized techniques is designed to do. Techniques of sorting, ranking, and prioritization bring structure to your data before you begin any type of analysis. And what happens after you wrangle your data? It is time to explore and develop ideas. Exploration techniques let us break free from our preconceived notions and find new pathways. In the exploration family, we can find techniques such as cluster brainstorming, which is perfect for team ideation, circle boarding, which creates structure for ideas, concept mapping, which helps us understand relationships between ideas, and finally, network analysis, which can highlight connections between entities. These techniques will give you the freedom to ask the important questions while providing a clear framework for organizing your findings. Sometimes the problem isn't generating new ideas, but figuring out what is actually happening on the ground. Diagnostic techniques help you separate fact from fiction by helping to identify and examine assumptions and develop multiple hypotheses to test against existing information. If you are beginning with a question, always start with a key assumptions check to put your own thinking to the test. Always try to create a timeline to put your evidence into context and see what truly has occurred. Once those are in place, these techniques provide a logical way to create and test different hypotheses. Most specifically, the analysis of competing hypotheses, which provides a framework for refuting hypotheses. Voice only, you need to test the reliability of your evidence and determine if you are being deceived. Diagnostic techniques will give you a methodology for doing all of that. Are you getting the same answers to the same questions? It's time for something different. Reframing techniques change your perspective, offering a new angle to look at old information. One powerful tool in this area is outside-in thinking, which shifts our gaze to the broader global context, and structured analogies, which help us compare and contrast similar events. Similarly, there's red hat analysis, which asks you to look at things from someone else's perspective and challenge all preconceived assumptions. Reframing also includes structured ways to challenge your own thinking by asking yourself, what if I'm wrong? This can be done with the use of pre-mortem and structured self-critique, as well as what-if analysis, which explores how a thing could come to be and what its impact might be. Finally, reframing includes techniques for navigating situations where multiple points of view are in conflict by using structured debate and adversarial collaboration. The future cannot be predicted, but it can be explored. Foresight techniques help you envision possible futures and plan ahead, from identifying what truly drives change to building and testing various scenarios and using indicators to track their progress. The building blocks for this include tools like key drivers generation and key uncertainties finder to establish the most relevant factors shaping the future. Reversing assumptions helps you explore alternative options and prepare for the unexpected. To generate those scenarios, use tools like simple scenarios and multiple scenarios generation to create different plausible futures. Techniques like the cone of plausibility assess their relative likelihood, while morphological analysis manages the complexity of these scenarios. It's also crucial to use indicators generation, validation, and evaluation to create metrics that ensure your analysis is sound and can be tracked over time. Now, it's time to take our insights and turn them into action. Decision support techniques will help you consider the different options, weigh your priorities, and make effective choices. These tools include the Opportunities Incubator to help you ensure a desired outcome, Bowtie Analysis to manage the consequences of an event, and Impact Matrix to better understand stakeholders and their priorities. Additionally, SWOT analysis is essential for weighing options, while Critical Path Analysis helps you plan your route to success. Decision trees show all the possible options, and the Decision Matrix organizes your actions based on core criteria. Force field analysis balances forces for or against the objective, while pros, cons, faults, and fixes tests new ideas. Finally, Complexity Manager provides a map to navigate interconnectedness. Where are we headed in 2030? Well, structured analysis is a constant growth area, and we see it expanding into many different industries beyond the intelligence community. But first, we must remember and understand the limits of our own analytic abilities. The purpose of SATs is not to give answers, but to guide us along our path. These techniques provide a structure for our thinking and help us organize our thoughts and biases to better analyze the world around us. As collaborative software continues to improve, more and more teams will embrace structured analysis. Additionally, new types of analysis will evolve and change as the next generation of analysts adopt these tools and the internet opens new avenues for collaboration. Ultimately, structured techniques are about taking control of our own minds and making the best decisions we can. We can achieve more by embracing these systems. These methods are not just a new set of analytic steps, but a new way of thinking. And with practice, you can truly unlock their potential. And that is how we chart a new course in the world of analysis,